Earlier this week, CD Projekt Red finally unveiled details about their upcoming story expansion for Cyberpunk 2077. The DLC, called Phantom Liberty, is expected to release in 2023. In this video, we're going to cover everything we know about the upcoming Cyberpunk expansion and what it means for the future of the game. What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. I make videos about RPGs and gaming commentary, so if you enjoy this video, be sure to smash like and hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive right in. On Tuesday, CDPR hosted Night City Wire Edgerunners special, which gave us some new details about their future plans for Cyberpunk 2077. There were three big topics of conversation in this 23-minute presentation: the upcoming Cyberpunk anime called Edgerunners, patch 1.6 for Cyberpunk 2077, and the announcement of the Phantom Liberty DLC. I want to mainly focus on the Phantom Liberty expansion and the future of Cyberpunk 2077, but I'll just briefly cover those first two topics. So yeah, the Cyberpunk anime Edgerunners is coming to Netflix on September 13th. I'm not a big anime simp, so I probably won't watch it myself, but hopefully others will enjoy it. If I do decide to watch it, maybe I'll do a video review. You woo! CDPR also released patch 1.6 for Cyberpunk 2077. This is probably the first time ever I've seen a trailer for a patch. You know, if they're releasing gameplay trailers for a patch, then the game was probably a dumpster fire on release. Patch 1.6, aka the Edgerunners update, adds new content inspired by the Netflix anime, such as the yellow jacket worn by the show's main character, 6 new guns, 5 melee weapons, and 3 new side quest gigs. This update also finally adds transmog to the game, so you can equip the best armor you have without looking like an absolute bozo. CDPR also unveiled the Roach Race arcade game to counter all the people complaining about the lack of immersion. You can play Roach Race inside Cyberpunk 2077 or on mobile devices as a free standalone game with no microtransactions. I'll put a link to the patch notes in the description if you want to see the full list of changes in the latest update. Lots of good stuff here. The real meat of the discussion happened at the end of the video when the game director of Cyberpunk talked about CDPR's future plans for the game. After patch 1.6, the studio plans to continue adding new changes and features to Cyberpunk 2077, including a complete overhaul to the police system, vehicular combat, a new gameplay loop for melee combat, as well as new cyberware and skill perks. We'll have to wait and see how these new systems actually play and feel in the game, so I'll withhold judgment for now. I think the vehicular combat sounds pretty cool. The driving has gotten a lot better in Cyberpunk since they patched the game earlier this year, so hopefully car combat will actually be fun. But here's the catch, and there's always a catch. These new updates, including the new expansion, will not be available on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. They are restricted to only PC and new generation consoles like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. For all intents and purposes, the previous generation versions of Cyberpunk 2077 are finished after patch 1.6. CDPR will still provide technical support and bug fixes for those versions, but no new content is coming to the game. So it looks like old generation console players are getting screwed again. Shocking, I know. To me, this is kind of shitty, to be honest. They're basically abandoning previous generation console players and giving them an objectively lesser version of the game while charging them the same amount of money for that version. There will always be some disparity between versions of a game across multiple platforms, but usually it's things like graphical fidelity, frame rate, etc. You know, technical stuff, not actual gameplay systems and story content. I have Cyberpunk 2077 on PC, so this doesn't personally affect me, but if you're a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One player, maybe wait until you get a newer generation console or a peak gaming PC before you give your money over to these jokers at CD Projekt Red. The studio also revealed a brief teaser trailer for the upcoming Cyberpunk story expansion. It's really short, so let's check it out together, shall we?
Repeat after me. I, V, do solemnly swear.
I, V, do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully serve the new United States of America.
Oh boy.
that I shall faithfully serve the new United States of America.
Nice.
On behalf of all
BDSM.
Americans, I thank you for your service.
You know, taking that oath. Bad idea.
I mean, it doesn't give us a whole lot to go on, huh? 2023, okay. No month. Just next year.
Hey everyone, Johnny Silverhand
There
is
he is.
coming back, and so am I.
All right.
Get ready for Phantom Liberty, the upcoming expansion for Cyberpunk 2077. It's awesome to be back playing the role of Johnny, and I hope you're excited to see him rocking out once more in the dark future. Keep an eye out for more info, and I'll see you again in Night City.
You heard it here first. Phantom Liberty is the name, and Keanu's in the game.
So yeah, that doesn't really tell us much. We know that Johnny Silverhand's going to be in the game. We know the name of the expansion. We know that V's coming back. But other than that, we don't really have a whole lot of details to go on. Cyberpunk 2077's game director Gabe Amontangelo mentioned a few additional details during the video, saying that they were experimenting with a new kind of style of plot, with a new story and cast of characters expanding on a district in Night City. Now, there has been a lot of speculation that the Cyberpunk expansion will take place in the Pacifica neighborhood of Night City, but that no longer seems to be the case. According to Cyberpunk's own website, Phantom Liberty is a spy thriller expansion for Cyberpunk 2077 set in an all-new district of Night City. But as for the plot details about the new United States and this Pledge of Allegiance, well, we can only speculate for the time being. I'm glad to see Johnny Silverhand will be back at least. One thing CDPR did confirm is that Phantom Liberty is the only expansion we'll be getting for Cyberpunk 2077. Or at the very least, it's the only one that they've planned. But let's be honest, if they don't have plans for an additional expansion now, almost 2 years after Cyberpunk's release, then there isn't gonna be another expansion. The writing is on the wall, there for everyone to see. Remember a few months back when CDPR showed off their roadmap of different projects they're gonna be working on in the next few years? Most of their staff have already moved on to the next Witcher game, with only a fraction of the studio actually working on Cyberpunk content at this time. It's pretty clear to me that they are moving on to other projects. So we're in the home stretch for Cyberpunk 2077's development cycle. So how much will Cyberpunk 2077 The Phantom Pain cost us? Well, we don't know for sure yet, but we can use some of their competitors as a potential benchmark. The Outer Worlds DLC campaigns each cost $15. Meanwhile, Ubisoft has charged anywhere from $25 to $40 for Assassin's Creed Valhalla's expansions. So Cyberpunk 2077 Sons of Liberty will likely fall in that $20 to $40 range, depending on the length and scope of the expansion. At the end of the day, am I really excited about Cyberpunk 2077 Sons of Anarchy? Well, not really. I do plan to play it when it comes out, but I'm not going to hype myself up over the next few months about this DLC. We'll see if it's good or not when it actually is released and people get their hands on it. Overall, I do think it's good that CDPR is still working on new gameplay features and releasing a big story expansion. I think we're about a year away from getting that definitive version of Cyberpunk where all the gameplay systems are fleshed out and all the new story content has been added to the game. It's just a shame that previous generation versions of the game are being left behind in the process. So what do you think about the future of Cyberpunk 2077? Are you excited about any of the new content coming to the game? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more RPG videos and gaming commentary. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.